Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the J-Dub Show. I'm your host, J-Dub. Before I get started with this review for the episode of Raw that aired Monday, April 13th, 2009, just like to say thank you so much to all of my 695 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to this show yet, make sure you go ahead and click that yellow button. You know, it's right over there. Easy. Can't miss it. This was a big draft episode of Raw, so I will be giving you the match results and also the draft picks. But the show starts out, Batista comes down to the ring. He's talking about how he missed the fans, he missed being in the ring, and he wants retribution on Randy Orton. Shane comes down to the ring saying he wants Randy Orton too. Triple H comes down to the ring saying, hey, you know, I know you got your stuff going on, but he, you know, attacked the wife of my wife and the mother of my children. You know, I want him. So then Vickie comes out and says the three of those guys will be in a handicap match versus the two members of Priceless, Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes. So, Vickie also announced that if one of the three guys wins, they would face Randy Orton in a one-on-one match on Raw next week. But later in the night, she announced that if one of those three guys end up getting pinned by either Ted DiBiase or Cody Rhodes, they would face the whole stable of Legacy in a 3-on-1 handicap match next week. First match tonight was Raw versus ECW, and with a draft pick on the line. Rey Mysterio versus Evan Bourne. Rey Mysterio ends up winning this match, which was a pretty good match. The United States Champion MVP is drafted to Raw from SmackDown. Next match of the night was Raw versus SmackDown. Kane versus the Brian Kendrick with another draft pick on the line. Big Show gets drafted from Raw to Raw from SmackDown, with Kane getting a win over the Brian Kendrick. So we have MVP being drafted and Big Show being drafted to Raw from SmackDown. Next match of the night was a 6-diva tag match. Maryse, Natalya, Michelle McCool versus Mickie James, Kelly, and Melina. The Divas from SmackDown ends up winning the match. Michelle McCool pins Mickie James. The women's champion, Melina, is moved to SmackDown from Raw. So you have United States Champion MVP to Raw, Big Show to Raw, Melina to SmackDown. Next was a pretty good match. John Cena versus Jack Swagger. Raw versus ECW with 2 draft picks on the line. The crowd was chanting, "Let's go Swagger." You know, I heard the, you know, "Let's go Swagger" chants. This match was a pretty good match. I think this did a lot for Jack Swagger, and him and John Cena had this little pretty funny exchange before the match. You know, yeah, so that was pretty funny. Jack Swagger was introducing himself to John Cena, and John Cena is, you know, trying to put him in his place because Jack Swagger said he's going to be the new face, you know, new poster boy of WWE. So John Cena had to put him in his place or whatever, but John Cena ends up winning the match for his brand, Raw, and Matt Hardy is drafted to Raw from SmackDown, and Triple H is drafted to Raw from SmackDown. So we have the WWE Champion, Triple H, to Raw, Matt Hardy to Raw, Melina, the women's champion, to SmackDown, Big Show to Raw, United States Champion, MVP to Raw. Fifth match of the night. Oh, and I must say about the John Cena and Jack Swagger match. Jack Swagger, he outperformed John Cena tonight. It was a great effort put on Jack Swagger's match, and I can tell a lot of people will be frustrated with John Cena with this match because he won the match, and like they like to say, WWE always has John Cena playing the underdog. So basically, he's getting his ass beat throughout the whole match, and then ends up eking out a win in the end, and that's exactly what happened. Fifth match of the night, the Great Khali versus Santino Marella. SmackDown versus Raw with a draft pick on the line. Before the match started, Beth Phoenix comes down to the ring and says that Vickie has told her if the Great Khali wins this match, Santino Marella will be in the Great Khali's kiss cam on Friday Night SmackDown. So the Great Khali ends up winning this match, and CM Punk, the Money in the Bank winner, the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, is drafted to SmackDown from Raw. I think that's a really great pick. Next match of the night, Kofi Kingston versus The Miz. Raw versus ECW. Kofi Kingston ends up winning this match because John Morrison allowed The Miz to get disqualified. He attacked Kofi Kingston. The Miz gets disqualified. Then The Miz is drafted to Raw from ECW. You know, him and John Morrison hug after the match, but John Morrison ends up getting attacked by The Miz. So The Miz attacks his, I guess, what is now his former partner. And I don't even really understand why he attacked him because, you know, it's not like that's the last time you're going to see him because John Morrison, he's still on ECW, but before the draft even happened, he was on every show. He was on ECW, SmackDown, and Raw. So it's not like you're never going to see him again. Anyway, 15-man tri-branded Battle Royal is up next. On the Raw team, we have MVP, JTG and Shad, Big Show, and Mike Knox versus the ECW team. Finlay, Ricky Ortiz, Tyson Kidd, Mark Henry, Paul Burchill versus the SmackDown team. Edge, Chavo Guerrero, Carlito, Primo, and R-Truth. Edge ends up winning this match. The last people in the ring were Edge, Big Show, and Mark Henry. Big Show eliminates Mark Henry. Edge then, you know, pulls down the rope while Big Show tries to charge at him. Big Show topples over the rope. Edge ends up winning this match. Kane is drafted to SmackDown from ECW. Chris Jericho is drafted to SmackDown from ECW. 8th match of the night. Christian versus Shelton Benjamin. This was a pretty good match. And Christian ends up getting a win over Shelton Benjamin with the kill switch. But they called it its real name at WrestleMania 25, the Unprettier. So I don't know why they reverted back to the kill switch, but whatever. Christian ends up winning this match. Vladimir Kozlov is drafted to ECW from SmackDown. I'll tell more on that later. 9th match tonight, Matt Hardy versus CM Punk. This was a very good match. I like this match. This was SmackDown versus Raw. Raw was being represented by Matt Hardy, who moved to Raw earlier in the night, and CM Punk was being represented by, he was representing SmackDown, which he moved to earlier in the night. The Divas Champion, Maryse, ends up getting drafted to Raw from SmackDown, and Matt Hardy gets a win over CM Punk. I like this match a lot. This was a pretty good match. 10th match of the night, Chris Jericho versus Tommy Dreamer. Chris Jericho ends up winning this match for SmackDown. And, you know, Tommy Dreamer loses it for ECW. And the Intercontinental Champion, Rey Mysterio, is drafted to SmackDown from Raw. 11th match of the night, no draft pick was online, so basically that was the end of the draft picks for tonight. Triple H, Batista, Shane McMahon versus Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes. There was a lot of, you know, infighting between Triple H, Batista, and Shane McMahon. You had a lot of blind tags, people jumping in the ring when they weren't supposed to, and Triple H went to go pin one of the members of Priceless, and Batista actually came in the ring and, you know, broke up the count, broke up the pin. So there was a lot of tension between Triple H and Batista. You can feel that all throughout the night anytime those two were on camera. So there could be something bubbling up right there. And actually, Batista attacks Shane McMahon during the match. He pushes him. Then Shane McMahon gets his revenge on Batista, you know, knocks him out of the ring and allows Triple H to get the pin on Ted DiBiase after a pedigree. So Triple H will be facing Randy Orton next week on Raw. You know, basically it's a WrestleMania 25 rematch, but it's not going to be for the WWE Championship. That's the end of that. Let's go over the draft picks once again. I'm going to go down the line of what I actually thought about these draft picks. We actually have 4 belts move throughout this night. We had the United States Championship and the United States Championship and the Divas Championship move over to Raw, and you had the Intercontinental and the Women's Championship move over to SmackDown. I was thinking that WWE could have did a lot more to actually make this, how do I say it, not look so obvious and not look so fake, like they predetermined the draft picks, because to have each belt move over to the other brand and to have their counterpart move over to the other brand, it doesn't seem really random. I thought, you know, if they were planning on doing that, they could have moved them in the supplemental draft probably, but yeah, so that's what I think about that. Big Show being drafted to Raw. Whatever, I guess he's going over there to continue with this whole Vickie Guerrero thing. I don't know how the whole Women's Championship and Divas Championship thing will work out, because the Divas Championships, it doesn't have a lot of prestige yet. Plus, the belt is like, it looks like it's meant to mean nothing. Like, just, it's all pink and frilly, and the Women's Championship, it has a lot more prestige, and maybe Melina, Gail Kim, Michelle McCool will, and hopefully Natalya will get a lot more screen time. Maybe they'll change up the view of the women's division on SmackDown. The Miz moving to Raw. I don't know why they picked the Miz over John Morrison to move to Raw. I think that John Morrison is the better of the two. Vladimir calls off the ECW. This is not something that I wanted to see. I guess they're going to throw all of the people with failed pushes on ECW, but whatever. What else? Chris Jericho, CM Punk, two good moves for SmackDown. Raw obviously got the better hand in this draft, but yeah, we'll be looking for the supplemental